I also know, and I've lived firsthand, a ton of limiting beliefs and stories that you're probably telling yourself that are holding you back from marketing and sharing what you do. These stories will often go really deep, and oftentimes these stories are very deeply rooted in our beliefs or the things that we are telling ourselves are true about ourselves. And they need to be uprooted in order to get you on the right track into marketing. You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this. Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Beyond the Classroom podcast. I am Sandy Patterson, and I am so happy that you are here today. And I hope you are having, if you are listening to this in the summer, I hope you are having a wonderful summer. It is summer at the time of recording this, and we are actually wrapping up this 5-episode business building series that we did over the summer. And it has been so much fun sharing things about launching and building your business this summer. And I hope that you have loved all of the episodes. Now, this is the 5th and final episode in this Business Builder Summer Series. It is a 5-part series specifically for teachers or really anyone who is in the beginning phases of building and launching a business. It's for teachers who are wanting to build a side hustle or turn your side hustle into your main source of income so you can have the confidence and freedom to make decisions based on what you truly want in your life, not what you think you should do or not based on where you feel like you're stuck. Now, if you haven't already listened to the first episodes in this series, you can head back and listen to those. The first one is all about ideas for your business. The second one is all about your business mindset, which is so important. The third is about the 4 basic things you need to get started in your business. And the 4th one is all about your offer. So now that you have an idea about what you'd like to do in your business, your mindset is all good to go, you have your basic systems in place, and you have an offer that you are sure you can help people with, now it is time to let people know all about that offer. And today we are going to talk all about marketing. But before we really get into this episode, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind, okay? So you'll hear often, do what works best for you and for your business. And I actually say this all the time because I truly do believe it, that you do not have to do anything that anyone says you should do or things other people are doing just because it works for them. But here's the thing, especially with marketing in the beginning stages of your business, you're really not going to know what feels good or what's working until you try different things out. It's really all one big experiment, and you've got to be okay with things not working and shifting to try other things until you do find the thing that does work for you. Now, people will also say often, you don't have to do everything. And again, yes, this is 100% true. You do not have to do everything in the beginning. You don't have to try all the things all at once. Don't do that because it'll just overwhelm you. You won't end up doing anything, which is not what we want. And most likely, if you're trying to do everything, you're going to get burnt out and frustrated. So don't do that. As we begin to talk about marketing, we're just going to choose one or two things to focus on, and then we're going to get really consistent and stick with those things for an extended amount of time and see if, in fact, it does work and if it does feel good for you. So when I say this, I mean, you can't really say, okay, I'm going to post one thing on Instagram and then see that nobody engages with it or nobody comments on it or nobody likes it or whatever it is, and just decide that Instagram isn't working for you and your marketing strategy. You really have to be consistent and stick with something for at least 90 days minimum. That's what I say. And when I say consistent, I mean consistent according to whatever you decide. So if you decide I'm going to show up and post on TikTok 5 times a week, then post on TikTok 5 times a week. If it's 3 days, 7 days, 2 times a day, once a week, whatever it is for you, whatever feels okay and manageable to you right now, then just stick with that. Make that your goal. So you want these 1 or 2 things you focus on to be driven by your marketing goals, which we'll talk about in a second. And when we say 1 or 2 things, there are so many different ways to market what you're doing. You might be starting an email list. That's a great form of marketing. You might be using social media. You might be using different platforms. You might be using in-person networking events or networking groups. There are so many different ways to market. So when I say 1 or 2 things, you're just going to choose 1 or 2 things from the list to try out, okay? Because again, you can't do everything. You don't have to do everything. It will just overwhelm you. So don't do that, okay? Now also keep in mind, time in the game is a big one here. Okay, you do not just show up online these days with an offer, even if it's an insanely awesome offer, share about it and expect it to just start selling. As nice as that would be, it just really doesn't work like that. So as far as marketing goes, you're going to start to get consistent. You're going to choose 1 or 2 things to get consistent around, and then you're really going to go for it to start to build up those sales, right? Because marketing is all about selling, right? Marketing is sharing with people what you do, and eventually that's going to convert for you. Now, it's also important to remember that marketing is also relative and dependent on your market, your audience, your sales, your numbers, and all of that good stuff. So just keep that in mind along with the other things that I've already told you to keep in mind. Okay, lots in your mind today. And this is a packed episode, and I hope that you just walk away with one thing to do, one thing to work on, one thing to think about. There's going to be a ton in here, so feel free to come back and listen again too. Okay, so on to the good stuff. Let's chat about marketing. Now, marketing is how you let people know that you have something that can help them. Maybe it's a product, maybe it's a service, but the goal of marketing is to create awareness around what you do and how you can help, which should ultimately and eventually lead to sales. Because you are a business, you need to be making sales to make money, right? So you need to get more specific about this, right? You're going to need a marketing goal, which will drive your marketing strategy. And I know these things sound very elusive and very maybe scary for some people, and I get it because I've been there too. But I'm going to give you some examples of a marketing goal, and then just think about where you might land as far as these goals, okay? So your specific marketing goal might be to build a warm or hot audience with people that are ready or almost ready to purchase your service or product. That's a great goal. Your goal might be to make people more aware of your service and just let people know what you do. That's another great goal people need to know, right? It might be to build relationships, which is ultimately going to become leads that will ultimately purchase your service or product. Your marketing goal might be to convert people, which just means you're getting them to buy your product or service. So out of those 4, which one of those sounds like where you're at right now in your business and what might be most beneficial for you? It's really important here to get clear on your marketing goal, because your marketing goal is going to give you something to measure. And this is how we figure out what's actually working and what's not, because these things are all measurable. Otherwise, we're kind of just doing things to do them and because other people are doing it or other people said we should. And We know that we need to be consistent, but we're just doing things and not actually measuring whether or not they work. And again, I've been there too, right? It happens. It's okay. It's all part of the process. But we're going to get really clear on your marketing goal. What's your goal? Write it down. Now, you're going to keep in mind too that your marketing lives inside a couple different things. It's contingent upon the product or service that you sell that makes your business money. It is around the customer base that you have or you're trying to build, right? And if you don't already have a customer base or an audience, that's okay. Everybody starts somewhere. And it's also living inside your assets and the way that you communicate. So this would be like your website, your social media, your emails that you send. All of those things are assets, or even a podcast episode, right? All of these things, they're intertwined and they build and rely on each other. And these things are all great. However, none of those things are going to tell you how to market or what your marketing should look like or how frequently you should be putting something out there. So in this particular episode, we're not going to go any further into specific marketing goals. However, you do need to have a marketing goal. Although, if you're interested in figuring out how to create specific marketing goals for your specific business, I would absolutely love for you to check out the Biz Builders program. It's a 6-week group coaching program. Or I would absolutely love to hop on a free call with you and we can talk this through a little bit more. And all the links for that are in the show notes. And in the Biz Builders program, we really break it down pretty much until you're annoyed and irritated with how far we've broken it down. And then you'll walk away with the one thing to focus on and your one goal. And then you do it and you do it over again and you figure out the next thing. So you just keep going until you've built a solid marketing foundation. But today we're going to talk about 5 things that you are going to want to consider when you are marketing. Now, this is whether you've been marketing for a while or whether you're just starting off. These are 5 things you can quickly just look at and evaluate today to really enhance your marketing strategy. And your marketing strategy is really driven by your marketing goals. So that's why it's so important to have that goal. Now, my sweet spot is really working with women who have already started their business or they're in those beginning phases and they're getting things like marketing up and running. So these are all really great starting points. And these are all the things that I work on with my clients. But like I said, even if you've been marketing for a while now, these are still things that you can evaluate and just kind of get a feel for, how am I doing on this? And how could I make it even better? And as I am outlining and thinking about this episode, I realized that each one of these 5 things I'm going to share with you can be an episode in itself. Okay. I'm barely going to touch the surface of these, but I just want to give you an overview of a few things you need to think about when you begin your marketing journey and sharing that awesome offer and sharing what you do and how you help people. Okay. So if you're listening to this episode and you're like, I really want to know more, maybe there's 1 or 2 things that you'd like to hear more about I can go in more in depth on them, please just let me know. I love connecting with you. I love hearing from you. I love hearing what resonated and what you learned from these episodes because that's what really keeps me going. So if you're interested, let me know and I can go from there to help you understand and learn more and we can dive even deeper. Okay? I am so excited to share this episode is brought to you by the Biz Builders 6-week group coaching program. Are you feeling stuck in teaching and wondering if there's more out there for you? Do you have a gut feeling you won't be able to sustain in teaching for much longer and you're not sure how to get the heck out? Do you have a side hustle or business you're wanting to grow to turn into your main source of income to get out of the classroom? Or maybe a business you'd like to nurture and save up money to have a cushion to get out of the classroom. Or even a side hustle you'd like to be able to put more time and effort into to see the possibilities of where it can go. This Biz Builder program is the ultimate program to help you lay the foundations of your business and fast track you to success without the guesswork and confusion. In the Biz Builders program, you'll gain the tools, mindset, and personalized support you need to build a successful and sustainable business so that you can turn your side hustle into more, see the possibility, and call the shots. If you are in the beginning phases of building your business, you don't want to do it alone because obviously that's no fun and you need a little guidance, support, and accountability. Biz Builders is just for you. Feel free to book a call for more information. So, here are the 5 things to check in your marketing today. So, number 1, check your messaging. You're going to get really clear on your messaging. Now, this is an insanely difficult thing to do. So I'm definitely not going to sugarcoat this and make it sound like it's easy because it is not. It takes time. It takes refining, reflection, refining, listening to what your people are saying and listening to what they're needing, and more refining. Lots of refining, lots of reflection. Essentially, what you want your ideal client, you want them to read your content or your copy or see whatever that marketing piece is and think, oh my goodness, she made this just for me. And you know what I'm talking about. You have those posts or those people that you stumble, or their emails maybe you open, or somebody that you really admire, and you read their post or you read their email or you listen to their podcast and you're like, oh my goodness, she's talking to me. She made this just for me. That is what you want in your messaging. Now, in order to get clear on your messaging, here are just a few things that you can do, okay? You can listen to what your people are saying and use their words in your marketing and in your copy, okay? Use their exact words. You also want to listen to what they're not saying. So this can give you a good clue as to what to avoid, but also it can give you a great clue as to what to dig into a little bit deeper, okay? Be consistent in your messaging and make sure that you're talking like you normally talk. I think oftentimes when we are trying to write something, we try to write it in this professional voice or to make it sound like we really know what we are talking about, which of course we do. But it's more relatable, I think, when you talk like you normally would talk in life. So when people open up my emails or read my Instagram posts or whatever, I want them to hear my voice and know that it's me talking and me writing. So a helpful thing too, and I've done this too, is you can just make a bank of phrases or words that you use in real life and try to just incorporate those into your copy and your messaging. And of course, be relatable. People want to see the real you, right? The goal of your messaging here is to get your people to you and repel the people that you don't want. So don't be afraid to say something that's going to offend someone. Your people are going to find you no matter what. And remember, your goal is for people to read or see your content and think, oh my gosh, she's writing this for me. This is exactly what I needed today. I was really wondering about that. This is exactly what I needed to hear today. Okay. All right. The second thing that you can do and check in your marketing today is your energy. Now, your energy is an essential part of your marketing. And this is kind of like the vibe, right? What's the vibe? It's really going to be based in how you feel about your offer and how you can help people. Now, you can go back to listen to episode 26, which was the 4th episode in the Business Builder series, to hear more about your offer and aligning yourself there. And this can definitely help with that energy, because when your energy is off, it does not matter what you say or what you do, people will not be into it. Trust me on this one, okay? So ways to check your energy and your alignment is to talk with a trusted friend or even a coach. I've worked with coaches for a while now, and I'm still working on aligning everything, still working on my messaging, still working on all of that. But you just have to take the first step. And I found that the most valuable thing here is finding a trusted friend to talk it through with, or a coach that knows how to ask you really deep questions in order to get to the bottom of, what you're doing and how you help people. You can also, of course, journal on it. Love a good journal prompt. Okay. You can get really honest with yourself if you just are really honest with yourself. And last thing, would you buy into your offer, and how are you sharing that? Like, if you would buy your offer and you are like, heck yes, 100%, I would buy this. It's so worth it about your offer. You have to be there, first of all. But then how are you sharing that in your marketing? Is that apparent? Is that energy coming through? Is that vibe coming through? Do people need it and want it? Okay. The third thing that you can check in your marketing today is your relationship building. Now, one of the first steps of marketing is building awareness around what you do. And in building awareness, you're building relationships with your people. It's that know, like, and trust factor that really has to go into your marketing in order for people to eventually convert and buy your product or service. And this is especially important for online small business owners, right? Do not bypass this. And I know many of us are teachers, right? We are great at building and nurturing relationships, and you need to be doing this through and in your marketing. These relationships will turn into leads and referrals and clients and all that good stuff. So do not pass this up. So you can evaluate, how am I doing at building relationships? And there are a lot of things you can do within your marketing to build those relationships. Okay. So number 4, the fourth thing that you can look at to check your marketing today is your strategy. Now, we talked about this a little bit before. You can market your offer up and down, left and right, side to side, but if you don't have a strategy, you're really not going to get very far. And strategy is based on your marketing goal, like we talked about earlier in the episode. So on its own, marketing is pretty vague, right? Like, what does that even mean? But your marketing goals are going to be your foundation and going to make it a little bit clearer. So if you have no marketing goals, you don't know the purpose behind any decisions you're making, other than that you're just doing it because everybody else is doing it, or because somebody told me to do it, or this is what I think I should be doing. Now, I know that your marketing strategy probably sounds really elusive, especially if you're first starting your business, but it's not as complicated when you break it down. So in order to figure out your marketing goal, you have to look at what you want to happen, how that's going to happen, and then choose a focus to make that specific thing happen. That is your strategy. Then that's going to drive your strategy. So then you decide exactly what needs to happen in order to make that thing happen, right? And again, this is something we go over in the Biz Builders program and something I would love to help you with. So please, like I said earlier, feel free to book a free complimentary call and we can talk this through together. If you're like, I don't know even where to start. This isn't making sense to me. This is very confusing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing something, but I don't know if it's the right thing. You just want to make sure that your strategy and your goal is all set. So you move forward making those decisions to know that they're actually going to get you what you want to happen in your business. Okay, the last thing, number 5 to check, this last thing to check in your marketing is, where are your people hanging out? So last but not least today, make sure that you're marketing where your people hang out. If your people hang out on Facebook, you got to be on Facebook, right? If your people hang out at the local park, get yourself down to the local park and start chit-chatting. If your ideal client hangs out on Instagram, don't waste your time on LinkedIn. Figure out where your people are and then be there consistently based upon your marketing goals and your marketing strategy. And if you don't know where your people hang out, and that's totally normal in the beginning as well, that just means that it's time to do a little bit of market research and find people that would be your ideal client and figure out where they're hanging out. And then be there. You got to be present, right? Now, again, I did not even scratch the surface of any of these things. But today, I just really wanted to give you an overview of a few things to think about as you begin marketing your services, your product. And hopefully what you can do is you can walk away thinking about a couple things. You're thinking about what your marketing goal is, and you're thinking about how your strategy can get you to that goal. You're thinking hopefully about the 1 or 2, maybe 2, just 1 is good, 2 areas or things that you really want to focus on. So is that your social media presence? Is that your email list? Is that a podcast? Is that in-person networking events? It's totally up to you to decide, but you decide that based on where your people are. So you're thinking about those things. Plus, you can think about your messaging and how you're being really clear. You can think about your energy and your vibe that you're putting out in your marketing. Think about the relationships you're building through marketing. Thinking about your strategy, your marketing strategy, and of course, where your people hang out. Now, last but not least here, and I think this is so important to touch upon because we've talked about all of the logistical things. I also know, and I've lived firsthand, a ton of limiting beliefs and stories that you're probably telling yourself that are holding you back from marketing and sharing what you do. These stories will often go really deep, and oftentimes these stories are very deeply rooted in our beliefs or the things that we are telling ourselves are true about ourselves. And they need to be uprooted in order to get you on the right track into marketing. And I can give you an example of this, right? I've worked with lots of clients who are terrified of showing up on social media. They are scared to use their voice. They're scared to share their opinion. They're scared to share their offer because they're not sure if it's good enough. These are all stories that you're telling yourself, and they're stories that can be peeled back and uprooted again like a weed. Then you get rid of them and then you move forward into that space. Okay. And I will tell you that this is super common because you're doing something that's scary and something that maybe you've never done before. And that is okay. It is okay to be scared. The key here is to just lean into being uncomfortable, uncover those stories that you're telling yourself, uproot them. And then once you've done that, it becomes a lot easier to move in that flow and to go for it, right? It's easy to just say, yeah, just go for it. But a lot of times it's a lot deeper than that. And it takes a lot of work and uncovering to get out of that space. Now, remember, nothing needs to be perfect. If you look at your marketing journey like an experiment, you're just trying things out to see what sticks, especially in the beginning. And if you can detach yourself from the outcome, so when I say outcome, I mean like number of likes or number of responses or opens or clicks or whatever that might be for you, and really not take anything personally, you'll start to get a feel for number one, what feels good to you in your marketing, and number two, what is actually working for you, especially if you can start to measure it. Okay. All right, you guys, I hope that you are taking something away from this episode. It was really, really packed, really, really full. And like I said, if you would like to hear more about a specific topic within this episode, please feel free to reach out. I love connecting with you. I love hearing your stories. I love hearing what you're struggling with so I can really focus and help you move through that, because as your coach, that is my job, and it is what I absolutely love to do. So until the next episode, happy marketing, happy end of summer if you are listening to this over the summer, and I will see you next time for the next episode. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.